Hello, welcome. Thank you for clicking through to this video where I explain the procedures to follow if your chainsaw has flooded. To begin with, of course, we'd only suspect that the engine's flooded, so we'll go through the procedures to check whether that's actually happened or not, and then providing this is the problem, we can show how to rectify. So from the start then, when we first come to the chainsaw, obviously we turn it on, we turn on the choke, and we make sure the chain brake's on and we try and start the machine. But for some reason it just won't start. Well, of course, if we do suspect it's flooding, then we're going to have to expose the spark plug and take a look. So we'll take this top off here, and for this particular brand of chainsaw we remove the air filter, and then of course we can remove the spark plug cap there. And going on from there, we need to remove the spark plug, and then once we've took the spark plug out, we can take a good look at the end of it. I realise it's quite difficult to see there, but the end of this spark plug is quite damp with fuel, so it would suggest flooding. So the objective now is to dry this spark plug, and usually a few good blows like this can dry it. If not, then we can use an airline, but that's okay. And now we need to consider the cylinder. Inside there, obviously there's flooding, there's a lot of fuel that's unburnt. Another thing I would take a look at this point is I'd take a look just inside the inlet there and make sure there's no more excess fuel, and to tip it out like this, if there is, this isn't too bad. Just check that the choke's working correctly on and off, and not that it's been stuck on causing the flooding. For the next part, make sure the machine is turned off, and that's to make sure that no electric is generated up to the top of the cap here, because we've got a lot of fuel inside the cylinder here and we don't want any fires caused by a potential spark. What we do is now we'll want to remove that fuel from the cylinder outwards. So the best way to do that is we've turned the machine off and we can crank the machine like this. We can pull the starter pull cord and the fuel inside the cylinder can emit from the spark plug hole. Remember, we've got no electric coming up to the top here because we're turned off, so we're okay. We're not going to set any fires with that fuel mist coming out. But one thing we do not want to do is to breathe in any of this mist as it comes out. So we've cleaned both the spark plug and the cylinder, so we'll put the spark plug back in. And then we'll build the machine back up. But the one thing we do not need to do when we start the machine now is we do not need to use the choke, because we've got enough fuel inside the cylinder, so we need to turn the machine on. And if possible, make sure that the throttle is open on full when you start the machine, so you might need a helping hand here. But the throttle ideally needs to be open on full like this in order to get as much air as possible into the cylinder in order to equal things out there with all that fuel that's already in there. I know we've removed some by cranking the machine earlier when we took the spark plug out, but there's always some in there that needs further removal. Now, next time we try and start the machine, making sure the chain brake's on, following safety procedures of course, we should get a different result. That is, of course, if flooding was the only issue and it only required this very basic procedure. And as you can gather, the diagnostics and repair of chainsaws is vast, and so I could only include the basics here. Thank you for watching.